Archangel Michael says, "This will happen on September 8th, Jesus is commanding you to open this right now. This person is going to give you a house very soon, open quickly." Archangel Michael says, "The hour is marked and the seal is set." On August 15th, a door opens that no hand can close, a door that leads to a home with your name already written inside. Let your heart stay steady because what is meant for you is moving in your direction with quiet certainty. The message travels like light through shadowed rooms. It lands on your table in the form of guidance, calm, and courage. It asks you to prepare your hands because they will soon hold new keys. There is a person moving toward you with intention. Their steps are timed to your growth and not to the clock on the wall. They carry a promise that feels like sunlight after rain. The promise is shelter made real. It is a front door that answers your touch, a hallway that understands your footsteps, and a window that learns your morning. The walls are patient because they already believe in your return. Let the sound of August 15th ring like a steady bell. Do not force the day and do not resist it. Welcome it as you would welcome a friend who has remembered your exact tea, your exact smile, your exact story. You have walked through seasons that tried to bend you. You stayed upright when noise tried to scatter your focus. That strength has called something solid toward you. Something that cannot be stolen or shaken. This person comes without chaos. They carry no tricks and no burdens. They carry clean paper and a clear intention, and the whisper on their breath says your name. The path between you is already clearing. Old branches of doubt are being lifted to the side. The road widens enough for quiet arrival. You may feel small flutters in your chest as the day approaches. Let those flutters become a quiet drum of readiness. Your readiness turns the key from the inside while help turns it from the outside. Homes wait for your laughter. Floors wait for the echo of your careful steps. A balcony waits for the way you lean into the evening and breathe easy. You are not begging the day to come. The day is choosing you because you have chosen peace. Peace is a strong magnet for every stable thing. The person who comes has watched your endurance with respect. They have seen how you protect your heart without turning it to stone. They recognize that your kindness is not weakness. It is a path they want to walk beside. They do not arrive with loud announcements. They arrive with the right documents, the right timing, and the right tone. Their words feel like doors softly unlocking. A night before August 15th carries a softness. It invites you to rest, not to worry. Rest is your signature of trust on heaven's letter. On the morning of August 15th, you wake with a steady mind. The ordinary tasks of the day greet you like allies. Each small action becomes proof that you are already living in the frequency of the life you ask for. You move through the day without chase. The day meets you halfway, then all the way. It is drawn to your calm certainty, and it loves the way you do not fight it. This person's footsteps become a rhythm you recognize. Their message carries clarity without pressure. Your offer is not a trap and not a favor that you can never ready. It is alignment made visible. You are not being saved, you are being matched. You are not being pitted, you are being honored. Your faith has built a landing strip, and help knows exactly where to touch down. Look at your hands. They look the same, yet they will hold a new weight that feels like light. Keys can be heavy in the pocket and light in the heart. Look at your heartbeat. It does not race for drama. It steadies for arrival. A steady heart is the finest welcome mat. You do not need to rehearse your gratitude. You are gratitude walking, gratitude speaking, gratitude resting. Gratitude is the perfume that makes good news linger. Prepare a corner in your mind where fear does not sit. Prepare a small table in your spirit where peace can eat. Prepare a sentence on your tongue that says yes without panic. This house knows how to hold you. It wants your art on its walls, your shoes by its door. Your plants curling toward its light. It is ready to become a witness to your unhurried healing. The person who brings this gift values order. They honor legal paths, clear agreements, and kind boundaries. They protect what they give, and they teach you how to protect it too. You will sign with a hand that no longer shakes. You will read words that feel like clean water. You will place your name where your name has always belonged. As afternoon folds into evening, the sky becomes a listener. Birds cross the air like signatures on a contract already approved. The wind edges your clothes with relief. You remember moments when you almost gave up. Those moments become distant mile markers. Not present rooms, you keep the lesson and release the weight. There is a quiet celebration in the unseen. Not loud, not frantic, not showy, a clean celebration that looks like an open window and a breeze that understands you. You will walk the rooms and greet them. Hello to the kitchen that will feed you. Hello to the bedroom that will guard your sleep like a loyal friend. You will touch the walls and feel them steady underneath your palm. You will count the light switches and notice how each one listens. You will stand in the doorway and breathe as if the air were telling you a soft story. This story begins with patience and ends with peace. It leans on truth and stays away from performance. It has room for your future to stretch its arms. The person who gives does not lose. They gain the joy of seeing rightness made visible. Rightness is a beautiful currency and it does not run out. Your path forward becomes more grounded. You plan with the calm of someone who knows where they will sleep. Your action sharpens because the base is firm. You build small routines that grow strong roots. Morning tea near a window, evening reflection without the rush. Your spirit becomes less shaken by noise. Your decisions stop wobbling. The axis of your life lines up with what you value. You receive without apology. You honor the giver without worship. You thank heaven without theatrics. There is a garden that will surprise you. Even if it is small, it will carry your name in green. Plants love promises, and this promise is good soil. You place one frame memory on a shelf and feel time align. You place one hopeful notebook on a desk and feel plans arrive with it. You place one pair of shoes by the door and feel journeys ready to begin. The rooms do not ask you to be perfect. They ask you to be present. Presence is louder than perfection and much kinder. A threshold teaches you a secret. Every crossing is a choice. Today you choose to step into a life that does not fear its own shine. Your voice finds a deeper register. It speaks gently, and the world listens more. Authority rests on those who dwell in peace. The calendar turns, and August 15th remains like a bright stitch in the fabric. You do not chase that day again, you honor it by living well. A miracle does not end. It becomes a new normal. You realize how long you carried worry like a heavy coat. You take it off and hang it where it belongs, in the past. Your shoulders remember how to sit level, you take care of what you have received. You treat water like blessing and soap like song. You sweep floors and straighten cushions like rituals of respect. Neighbors begin to know your name. Not through gossip, but through quiet kindness. You grow roots without cages, the person who gave remains a steady presence. Not overbearing, not distant. They are a bridge, not a chain, you continue to grow in wise stewardship. You learn documents, dates, and details. You become fluent in every small language that protects a home, you host small moments that feel large. A cup of tea shared with someone who needed warmth. A laugh that returns after being gone too long, the nights become kinder. The roof holds the rain without complaint. Bremen rest, shake hands, and agree to stay. Your steps no longer hesitate at the door. You do not brace for loss. You walk in and out with an ease that comes from belonging. The front door learns your goodbyes and your returns. The hallway learns your rhythm. The rooms learn your seasons and love everyone. You decorate without trying to impress anyone. You let the space tell you who it wants to be. Style becomes a quiet conversation between you and the walls. You do not fear the future. You do not rehearse disaster. You plant small seeds and trust their timing. The key in your hand is humble and strong. It does not brag. It does not bend, it simply does its job and opens what is yours. You carry this steadiness into every other area of life. Work begins to mirror your inner order, relationships learn from your boundaries. The days after August 15th build like a gentle staircase. Each step is cleared, each landing is safe. You are not rushing. You are arriving, you let go of narratives that once kept you small. You release old agreements with fear. You choose safety without surrendering your edge. The house becomes a teacher. It shows you the power of staying. It shows you the beauty of finishing what you start. You learn to celebrate small improvements. A plant unfurls a new leaf. A sunbeam hits the same spot at the same time and feels like an old friend. Your name on the papers looks right. Your signature sits like a calm river. You breathe and the room breathes with you. You look back only to honor where you came from. You do not camp in old pain. You visit, collect the wisdom and come home, the person who gave smiles when they see what you have done with the gift. They see peace where worry used to live. They see purpose where waiting used to ache. You walk to the mirror and recognize yourself again. Not the exhausted version. The true one that never stopped believing. The kettle sings. The chair invites. The lamp learns your evening reading and glows like a patient friend. You install small safeguards that keep order safe. You label a folder for every important paper. You set reminders that respect your memory instead of testing it. Peace is not fragile here. It is woven into the floorboards. It is stitched into the curtains. You stand at the window and watch the sky change. You do not crave drama. You welcome the ordinary because it carries goal. The front door clicks shut with a sound that feels like a promise kept. You turn the lock and feel no fear. Security can be quiet and still very strong. You grow more generous because your ground is firm. You give at a level that does not tip you. You help in ways that do not drain you. this story holds. It does not collapse under inspection. It remains true when touched by time, your sleep deepens and your mornings become brighter. You wake without dread. You carry daybreak like a gentle flame, you keep learning the language of ownership. You speak clarity and devotion. You practice patience and steady attention, you gather friends who respect your boundaries. You laugh without looking over your shoulder. You sit without waiting for the chair to be pulled away. The scent of new paint fades into the scent of your life. The air remembers your cooking and your after-rain walks. The rooms carry your music like a soft echo, you become the kind of person who multiplies calm. People feel safe around you. Sick people build safe spaces, your old fears lose interest in you. They drift to the edges and then disappear. You do not chase them, you let them leave. The garden keeps its quiet promises. You leaves arrive, a small flower opens like a yes. You write a short note to your future self. You write that you did not give up, you write that the door opened and you walked through. You keep the key where your hand finds it every time. You give it a place of respect. You never treat it like an accident. The house receives your plans and does not flinch. It can hold your growth, it can hold your joy. The days turn and your gratitude becomes a habit. Not loud, even. There are photos now. Not as proof to anyone, but as memory for you, the day of arrival. The first evening light across the floor. You protect your peace like you protect your breath, not with fear, but with wisdom. You do not open every window to every wind. This gift is not random, it is answered perseverance. It is love arriving in a form you can touch. You keep the paperwork neat, the schedule clear. The heart soft. Soft does not mean weak, soft means alive. You honor the giver with integrity. You honor heaven with humility, you honor yourself by living well inside what you asked for. The front step becomes your launching place. You stand there before leaving and remember who you are, you return there and remember who you are again. The echo of August 15th stays sweet. You carry it like a quiet psalm, the psalm reminds you that timing can be kind. You created a landing place for good. Good landing, have good growth. This is how you walk in your answered prayer. This is how you sit inside your answered prayer, this is how you sleep inside your answered prayer. The house does not complete you. It companions you, completion is inside. Companionship is around. You do not shrink to fit the rooms. The rooms expand to learn you. Light bends to greet you each day. Every corner becomes a page of your new chapter, you read it slowly. You live it fully. Let this day stand as proof that patience is powerful, let this roof stand as proof that love is practical. Let these keys stand as proof that you are trusted. You will remember the person who came with steady hands, you will remember the papers and the signatures. You will remember the door opening like a sunrise. You will also remember your own strength, you will remember the nights you carried your hope like a lantern. You will remember how your feet kept moving. Honor y'all, keep walking. Keep shining. The doorway keeps its gentle lesson. Every crossing is a choice you make again. You choose peace, stability, and joy. The rest of your life begins in rooms that hold you without noise. The rest of your life begins with keys you do not fear to lose. The rest of your life begins now. Hold this message close, let it become breath, step, and heartbeat. On August 15th, alignment becomes address, and address becomes home. The person who gives smiles and steps back so you can step forward, the path behind you closes. The path ahead of you shines clear. You clean the table and set down a single flower in a glass. You light one small candle. You sit and feel the room agree with your presence. You are not late, you are right on time. Everything meets you where you are. Now live here with ease, live here with wisdom. Live here with joy that does not need noise to prove itself. Home is now a verb inside you, it keeps happening as you move. It keeps happening as you rest. The rooms listen and learn your language, you speak comfort without trying. You speak safety without strain. Your courage becomes furniture that never wobbles, your hope becomes windows that never stick. Your love becomes the paint that never peels. You keep showing up for your life, you keep tending what you have been given. You keep choosing the light switch of peace. And when the evening sits quiet on your shoulders, you smile at the day that kept its promise. You close your eyes with gentle gratitude. You rest inside the gift like a blessing made of breath. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. The evening settles with gentle certainty, the air carries the calm of completion. The day understands what it came to deliver. Your posture changes without trying, the spine remembers how to stand in relief. The shoulders soften like curtains finding their place. You move through your space with deliberate ease, every motion becomes a blessing you can touch. Every breath becomes an agreement with safety. The memory of long corridors of waiting loses its grip. The hours that once dragged now step lightly. Time behaves when peace is in charge. You gather simple tools for a new chapter, a notebook for details, a folder for papers, a tray for keys. Small order invites great order. There is quiet logic in stability, it does not shout and it does not hurry. It builds like brickwork, one sure layer at a time. The person who brought the gift keeps their word, they answer with clarity if you ask for understanding. They respect your pace as you learn the shape of ownership. You begin to map the rooms with your habits, morning light chooses the same patch of floor. Evening hush arrives like a friend who knows the door code. Your calendar learns new rhythms. Payment dates become steady beats. Maintenance becomes a soft promise you keep to yourself. Documents sit in their proper places, receipts rest in envelopes that know their names. A spare key lives where your hand can find it without panic. You adopt gentle rituals that anchor you, a quick walk around the house before sleep. A moment at the window to greet the day as it rises. Neighbors nod because your presence is clear, the street learns the rhythm of your departures and returns. Blowing clicks around your steps like warm light. The rooms respond to attention, surfaces gleam with minimal effort. The air moves better when open windows listen to your voice. You set intentions that fit the walls. Not enormous, not timid. Practical dreams with sturdy feet. Bagajan learns your patience, simple meals become a ceremony of care. Clean counters teach your mind to unclutter itself. You grow fluent in quiet confidence, it shows in how you lock the door. It shows in how you place your bag on the table without dread. Memories of scarcity begin to dissolve, they become chapters you respect but no longer live in. Wisdom stays while fear leaves. A front step collects new footsteps of love, friends arrive with soft laughter and leave with ease. Hospitality breathes without exhausting you. You choose colors that feel like breath, you place them where your eyes can rest. Harmony settles in like a well-made chair. The gift in your hands teaches responsibility that does not crush, it asks for attention, not perfection. It rewards consistency with deep calm. You write a 5-line plan for each week, one death of a day, one of a learned, one of a day. 2 lines for gratitude and rest. Your nights hold without cracking, storms pass, and the roof keeps its promise. You sleep like someone who is finally believed. The mirror shows a face that trusts the morning, the jaw unhooks from all defense. The eye stops scanning for danger that is not there. You keep the message close but not heavy, it lives as a pulse, not a weight. It reminds you gently at the right times. When doubts whisper, you answer with order. You check a list that you wrote in a calm hour. You do the next honest thing and peace returns. You do not measure everything by speed, you measure by steadiness. The results last because the root is deep. A small plant on the sill becomes a private prophecy, it leans toward light without fear of breakage. You take note and learn the same movement. You fix small problems before they grow teeth, a hinge that needs oil. A seal that needs attention. Care today prevents noise tomorrow, your phone holds contact names that protect your time. Trusted plumber. Reliable electrician, honest advisor. Wisdom keeps numbers that guard peace. You practice boundaries that feel like clear skies. You say yes where your energy belongs. You say no where your clarity lies. The hallway becomes a runway for gentle launches, shoes line up like quiet teammates. The door learns the rhythm of departures with purpose. You rehearse gratitude in small sentences, thank you for walls that do not complain. Thank you for floors that do not judge the weight they carry. Days build a staircase you can climb without panting, each step knows your name. Each landing holds your breath without dropping it. You meet the future with the calm of a host, you show it where to sit. You pour it water and let it speak. When paperwork appears, you do not flinch, you read slowly and sign with presence. Your name rests easy on the lines that matter. You organize your finances like a garden plan, what growth, what waits, what feeds the soil. You plant with intent and harvest with care. Your wardrobe reflects your uncluttered mind, pieces that fit your life, not your fear. Choices that wear like truth. The living room learns the shape of your joy, music fills it without crowding it. Conversations linger without draining you. You keep a small tool kit within reach, screwdriver, tape, extra bulbs. Confidence lives in drawers that solve little problems. When seasons change, you change softly with them, curtains shift. Blankets appear. Windows learn new angles, flexibility becomes comfort, not chaos. Your phone camera captures quiet milestones. The first sunrise from your balcony, the first evening where silence felt like a friend. You wipe the table and feel it wipe your mind. You sweep the floor and feel it sweep your worry. Tasks become translations of grace. Visitors sense the peace before they sit down. They match their voices to the room's frequency. They leave better than they arrived. You pee one corner of your day for reflection. Not analysis, not judgment, simple noticing that respects your journey. The bathroom mirror becomes a place of treaty. You and your reflection sign a pact of gentleness. The body exhales old pressure it no longer needs. Your steps grow confident on stairs you once climbed with fear. The railing becomes a silent alley. The landing greets you like a faithful friend. Bills arrive and do not thrang. They state their needs and you answer in rhythm. Energy circulates without leaks. You honor the foundation by honoring yourself. Press gets scheduled, overwork loses its false crown. The backyard or balcony carries small celebrations. A cup set down with intention, a sky received without argument. Letters and notices file into their homes. Disorder has nowhere to hide. You become the keeper of a palm archive. You discover the joy of small upgrades. A better lamp, a smoother handle. Dignity grows through details. Your conversations with the giver remain clean. Clarity walks between you like a bright path. Mutual respect closes the door on misunderstanding. Some days still arrive with weight. You answer them with routine that holds. Faithfulness does the heavy lifting without drama. You find a chair that understands your spine. It teaches you the art of supported rest. Productivity improves because rest is honest. Your mind trusts your calendar. Your heart trusts your decisions. Your body trusts your bed. You sprinkle your days with small pleasures that cost little: fresh air, warm light, tidy corners. Nourishment that leaves no hangover. Windows open to let the world in on your terms. Noise stays outside. Freshness comes in. On quiet afternoons you walk room to room with gratitude. You touch the door frames like they touch back. Presence becomes your favorite possession. You store emergency items with clear labels: flashlight in a known drawer. Charger in a trusted box. Preparedness hums under peace. The scent of your home becomes its signature. Clean, calm, true. People remember it like a kind handshake. You begin to share your steadiness where it is needed. A kind message. A small meal, a practical tip that saves someone else a worry. You refuse performances that cost your soul. You choose substance over display. Authenticity becomes your interior design. A bookshelf grows one honest title at a time. You read what strengthens your roots. You leave the rest on the shelf of the world. You learn to listen to the house as if it speaks. It asks for simple care and rewards with low loyalty. Reciprocity becomes your quiet tradition. Morning check-ins take only a minute. Plants watered, doors checked. Surface is clear. Peace costs less than panic. You document important numbers in a small binder. It waits in a place you will not forget. Clarity is a gift you give your future self. Your doorbell becomes a sound without fear. You answer when your energy agrees. You let silence do the rest, you keep a soft basket by the entry. It catches the day's edges. Clutter loses the power to multiply, rain arrives, and the roof listens without complaint. You sit with a warm drink and honor the weather. The world can be loud while your room stays kind, you light a candle for focus. You breathe like someone who trusts the oxygen. Work happens without war, the house becomes proof that gentleness can hold weight. It carries your plans without creaking. It carries your rest without sinking, even the mirror understands your pace now. It reflects without arguing. It frames a vase a home with itself, thoughts that once ran in circles now walk in lines. They know where to go. They know when to stop, old patterns knock less often. When they try to enter, they find locks installed by wisdom. Habit learns who pays rent and who does not, you keep a small ledger of victories. A fixed hinge. A filed paper, a rested night. Proof grows like quiet treasure. Your heartbeat matches the home's steady hum, this harmony needs no audience. It needs only honesty. The hallway holds the story of your comings and goings, it keeps no secrets against you. It remembers the day you stopped running from good. You prepare for the 50th of every month with calm, you meet the rhythm that keeps the lights kind. Stewardship wears well on you. Rooms open their arms to new chapters, a desk for learning. A map for stretching. Space adapts to your growth without protest, the person who gave remains aligned with truth. Their part was to open a door. Your part is to live well inside it, this exchange remains clean because you keep it clean. Gratitude without obligation. Freedom without forgetting, you look at the key and see more than metal. You see permission to thrive. You see the end of a hallway of anxious nights, the windows teach you the art of framing. You choose what to let in. You choose what to let pass, you keep the ground near the door clear. You do not trip over yesterday. You do not block tomorrow, a small toolkit of inner practices supports the outer order. 10 calm breaths. 5 honest sentences, 1 brave step. Your voice lowers into certainty. Even your hello carries weight, the world hears the difference and answers with respect. You learn which repairs need a professional and which need patience. You spend where wisdom tells you to, you save where care does the job. The home becomes a quiet mentor. It rewards consistency, it mirrors your integrity back to you. You honor the day of arrival without living in nostalgia. Memory stays sweet and useful, present stays bright and real. Your night's calendar fewer worries. Your morning's calendar more purpose, your weeks gather meaning like steady rain. The walls know your boundaries. They hold them without apology, they do not leak your energy. You set aside a drawer for generosity. Cards, candles, small gifts, kindness becomes effortless when prepared. Every ending of the day becomes a small ceremony. Issues white, lights checked. Cut and gone, closure makes rest easier. Your laugh finds a new depth. It comes from a place that does not fear collapse, joy strengthens because the 4 is sound. Even silence wears a friendly face here. It sits with you without pressure, it fills the room without crowding it. You build a table that invites honest conversation. It sees bread, not spectacle, it sees eyes that do not look away. You learn the sum of your appliances and their ask for care. You respond before complaint turns into crisis, attention fixes more than money alone. The mirror of the entryway becomes a threshold for intention. You look, you align. You step out. The world meets a centered version of you. Afternoons become gentle teachers. They show you how to work and rest in the same day. They show you how to end without guilt. You record the story once in a document you keep safe. Names, dates, agreements. Clarity honors everyone involved. Loose ends get tied as a habit, not a scramble. The list shortens as the day ends. Tomorrow greets a cleaner slate. You practice delight in small sights. Light across a framed photo. Steam from a cup that comforts your hands, the home holds when storms shout. It knows how to listen without breaking. Your heart learns the same art, Archangel Mitchell says, walk forward with the same calm that received the gift. The path will keep rising to meet the steadiness of your step. You place flowers once a week in a simple jar, their life teaches you tender stewardship. Your leaving teaches you gentle release. You protect your mornings from noise, you protect your evenings from clutter. You protect your hours from what does not love you. Meals become signals of respect, you feed your body like it belongs here. It responds with strength that does not shout. Even the clock feels friendlier in rooms that breathe, minutes stop chasing you. They walk beside you at a comfortable pace. A simple welcome mat collects the world's dust and keeps it from entering. You do the same with your thoughts. Boundaries are clean floors for the mind. You check the locks with gratitude. Not fear. They secure more than doors. They secure a season where you can finally grow. Your voice grows gentle toward the past. You thank it for its lessons and release its grip. The present keeps your hands full enough. You make plans that respect both ambition and rest. You refuse the myth that only frenzy creates fruit. Sustainable strides build a life you can live in. The home receives your creativity like rain after dry weeks. Ideas land and soak in. Projects sprout and do not wither. You invite silence to be a collaborator. It edits your day with wisdom. It leaves only what matters. When you leave, you carry the home inside. When you return, the home recognizes your gate. Mutual recognition becomes peace. The gift remains unspoiled because you treat it as a trust. You keep it clean without obsession. You keep it yours without fear. The night closes like a book with a ribbon marking your place. You know where you stopped. You know you can return without losing the thread. You rest with the dignity of someone who has nothing to prove. The pillow welcomes your honest weight. Sleep partners with safety and stays till morning. The morning opens like a gate that swings easily. Hinges oiled. Path clear, stride true. You step through and the day agrees. This is how a miracle becomes a lifestyle. This is how a promise becomes a practice. This is how a date on a calendar becomes a house that holds your life. You learn the cadence of good stewardship as if it were a song. It has verses of clarity and a chorus of calm. It returns to you each day with steady rhyme. You begin to recognize the difference between urgency and importance. Urgency bangs on the door. Importance knocks once and waits, trusting your wisdom to answer. You keep a small board in the kitchen for lists. A filter changed on time, a battery replaced before it fades. Care moves faster than repair. Even your shoes tell the story of arrival. They rest ready by the door, not scattered by old hurry. Readiness becomes the language of your feet. Friends notice the difference without you explaining. They speak softly in your rooms as if your peace deserves manners. You welcome them with warmth that does not tire you. You keep a simple bowl on the table for keys. You teach your future self where safety lies. Forgetting has fewer places to hide. The person who opened the door for you remains trustworthy. You schedule a follow-up conversation with clarity. You protect the relationship by keeping the terms bright. Light finds your photographs and frames them twice, first with wood, then with grace. The images tell you that joy has good posture. Work flows more easily because the ground beneath it is solid. You can stop when stopping is wise. You can go when going is honest. You recognize that rest is intelligent. It restores your attention. It renews your courage. You walk through rooms and feel your breathing deepen. The ceilings are not low with worry. The floors are not uneven with fear. You write a simple mantra for days that try to wobble you. I move slowly so I can move surely. You repeat it until it becomes the gate of your life. When mail arrives, you greet it with maturity. You sort, decide, and act. Nothing lingers long enough to become a problem. The home invites you to become more deliberate. You buy what you use. You keep what you love. You let go of the rest. Even your laughter changes tone. It grows grounded like an instrument tuned to truth. Joy becomes not a performance but a residence. You set gentle boundaries with technology. Notifications do not own you. Silence has its own ringer, and you answer it first. You notice how small kindnesses multiply. A glass of water for a tired friend. A text that lands at the right time. Steady goodness echoes in rooms like this. You choose linens that feel like why. You choose colors that behave like peace. You choose objects that tell the story of sufficiency. Some evenings you will eat in silence and call it sacred. Some mornings you will sing while making tea and call it gratitude. Both are correct in a house that loves you. You keep a fireproof folder for core documents. You know where it lives, and it knows where you live. Preparation whispers. Panic stays outside. There is a difference between noise and life. Life breathes. Noise demands. Your home has learned the first and politely refuses the second. You practice a small ritual at the door whenever you leave. You take yourself with you and bring yourself back. You label a shelf future relief, extra soap, extra bulbs, extra patience. You rest easier because tomorrow has a place to find what it needs. You learn to say no without explanation when explanation would cost your peace. No becomes a complete sentence with a friendly period. Boundaries learn to smile. Maintenance days are not polygament, they are investment. A diet and strew today saves an ache next week. You keep the value of prevention close. You keep a notebook titled Home Wisdom. It holds measurements, paint codes, dates, contacts, and lessons learned. Your intelligence becomes something you can pick up and hold. You realize that safety changes your appetite. You hunger for clarity and clean air more than chaos. Good meals taste better when the table is honest. You answer the door only when your energy consents. Courteous people will understand. The rest are teachers you do not need. Even the small creak of a step becomes a reminder to slow down. You fix what needs fixing and you heed what needs eating. Listening is a tool in your toolkit. The hallway mirror witnesses your growth and says nothing. Your reflection tells the truth without accusation. Gentle honesty is the best lighting. As August 15th settles into memory, it does not fade. It becomes a compass point. When you feel lost, you face the direction where the door opened and you remember how arrival felt. You create a calm corner where a chair, a soft throw, and a page of light meet. 10 minutes there rescues whole hours later. Rescue becomes routine, not emergency. When you host simply. Water, tea, a bowl of fruit. The conversation becomes the feast and everyone leaves nourished. You identify the creases in your day where stress tries to hide. You smooth them with breeding, order, and truth. The fabric of your hours lies flat again. The house protects you from pretending. It prefers your real mood to any costume. Authenticity does easier than performance. You keep a small jar of done notes on a shelf. Each paper holds a task you completed. On dense days, you pour success onto the table and count. You teach children or guests how your home speaks. Shoes hear voices kind, doors closed softly. Respect becomes a dialect that anyone can learn. You turn the word later into a promise you can trust. Later means on the list, not forgotten. Your brain thanks you for writing instead of worrying. You keep a map of your neighborhood in your mind. The safe streets, the friendly shopkeepers, the nearest help. Confidence wears local knowledge well. Sometimes you will cry when you least expect it. Relief has a way of melting out through the eyes. Let it. Houses like this know how to hold quiet tears. You build a practice of seasonal review. What still fits? What mustn't change? You update your life like you update a when-used room. Even the broom becomes a partner in peace. You sweep forward. Not backward, as if the floor were a future. Feminineness becomes a kind of foresight. You do not offer your peace to every passerby. You share it where it can root. You protect it where it would be trampled. You place a plant in a room that never saw green before. It teaches oxygen to return to forgotten quarters. The leaf and the light write letters to each other. Your bedtime belongs to you. Screens bow out. Lists go quiet, lights dim with respect. Sleep learns your schedule and keeps it. Morning returns like an agreement signed overnight. You wake into clarity that does not argue. The mirror nods. The kettle speaks, the door understands. On the anniversary of your arrival day, you keep a small tradition. A walk through each room with a whispered thank you, a promise to keep caring. You weave your values into the home through action. Honesty in the budget, kindness in the conversation. Courage in the decision. You store one box marked memory, not museum. Inside are pieces of your earlier life that deserve honor but not space in the present. Love keeps what dust would ruin. When fear knocks, it finds a wiser host. you listen if there is a lesson. You decline if there is only noise. Fear learns your new rules, you meet the person who gave with the dignity of equals. Gratitude without debt. Appreciation without imbalance, clean exchanges keep blessings bright. On some mornings, the sunlight enters like a letter addressed to you. It knows your name and your season, it lays itself carefully on your table. Your calendar undergoes a gentle audit. You remove obligations that only prove you can endure, you keep commitments that help you truly live. Music becomes a healer that does not interrupt. It fills the spaces between tasks, it threads harmony through the weave of your day. You practice a 3-step response to challenges. Slow, see. Solve. You breathe first, you gather truth. You take the next right step. You keep a small savings labeled house kindness, it funds the unglorious victories. A better seal. A safer fixture, a sturdier hinge. Security loves such spending. In the evenings, you sometimes read aloud to the room, words learn to lang softly. The walls keep your voice safe. You learn the quiet art of hosting yourself, you ask what you need. You offer it without delay. You become your own best caretaker, you give yourself fresh air. You give yourself small walks. You gift yourself the human right to slow down, you make peace with the idea that not everything must be used. Some spaces exist to breathe. White space is not waste, it is welcome, you reserve a shelf for dreams that are building. Not fantasies, but plans in seed form. You water them with time and patience, not panic. If a mistake happened, you fix what can be fixed and forgive what must be forgiven. You do not let error become identity. The house knows how to move on and so do you. You notice your reflection laughing more often. It is not surprised by joy anymore. It expects kindness and finds it. You rotate your treasures so you can see them anew. A framed photo moves from desk to shelf. Meaning brightens when it changes rooms. You craft an evening note to your tomorrow self. 3 lines of guidance, 1 line of care. The note waits on the counter and morning smiles at the thoughtfulness, your body relaxes into the rhythms of upkeep. A little each day prevents the avalanche. The avalanche is out of business in this address, you understand that peace is not an accident. It is a craft. You are getting good, You walk the perimeter of your home once a month like a gentle guardian. You look, you listen, you learn. The walls trust that you are paying attention. You find an old fear that once ruled you and realize it has retired. It did not win a war. It simply lost its job because you stopped hiring it. You teach your calendar to include joy as an appointment. Joy shows up happy to be expected. Life respects what you schedule. The house is a way of clearing your mind for better decisions. Clarity likes tidy surfaces. Wisdom loves clear tables. You keep a go bag of basics not from paranoia but from prudence. Preparedness is quiet courage. It frees attention for better things. The giver checks in with a smile, you answer with a steady update. Mutual relief has replaced mutual worry. The equilibrium feels right, you measure progress not by applause but by peace. The silence in your rooms is not empty. It is full of balance, you make up a simple blessing for the doorway that you whisper when you leave. May I carry peace out and bring peace back. The threshold understands and cooperates. You find an old photo of yourself from a harder season. You tuck it into your home wisdom notebook as a signed page of history. You are both proud of who you were and grateful for who you're becoming. There are days the world will whirl louder than usual. You let the house teach you to twirl. You set down what you cannot carry and pick up what you can. You become quick to tidy and slow to argue. You become swift to forgive and patient to learn. The home trains your temper toward mercy. Your routine with the keys becomes a small choreography. Pocket, bowl, door, glands. Presence turns misplacing into a rare event. You pay your bills early when you can. The early click of completion is a windfall of calm. You invest your time where dividends are peace. You keep one empty drawer on purpose. It reminds you that not every space must be filled. It teaches your mind to keep room for new good. The nights lengthen or shorten with the season. And you adjust. Flexibility keeps comfort fresh. Comfort keeps courage strong. You start to see yourself as a caretaker of gifts, not a collector of things. The difference changes how you buy and how you live. Stewardship looks good on you. You choose a sentence to guide your year. Secure enough to be kind, you practice it on good days and hard days. The sentence keeps letting you in. When the doorbell rings unexpectedly, you take a breath before answering. At breath is ownership. At breath is sovereignty. You change one small habit that used to leak your energy. You plug the leak with wisdom. The saved energy finds better work to do. You visit the rooms at odd hours just to hear how they sound. They sound like you now. They sound like a life that fits. You understand why the person who gave chose you. You were not lucky. You were ready. Readiness feels like dignity. On some afternoons, you lay on the floor and watch the ceiling. You learn the shapes of quiet. You study the angles of calm. You light a lamp that becomes a symbol. When it's on, you are present. When it's off, you are elsewhere on purpose. The future looks less like a cliff and more like a path. The path has turns, yes, but also railings. You hold them lightly and move ahead. You teach your heart to trust the locks and your mind to trust yourself. The alliance is strong. Anxiety stops making surprise appearances. You make peace with unfinished things. Not everything needs completion today. Some threads are meant to hold the loom for tomorrow's weaving. You design a weekend ritual that honors life. As if it was a bonus. Balance signs its name across the hours. You learn to close the laptop and open the window. You learn to close the gossip and open the book. You learn to clothe the panic and open the plan. On the shelf of future relief, you add a small envelope labeled "Thank you. Future me." Inside is a note reminding you that you made it here. You keep writing reasons why. You celebrate quietly on the date each month that mirrors August 15th. Not with noise, with awareness. With it once again knowing that you are still here. Still held, still home. You learn to spot the difference between visitors and intruders in all forms. People, thoughts, obligations, you welcome the former. You decline the latter. Your door learns to be discerning. you replace one old story with a truer one. You repeat it until it becomes your reflex. The house echoes it back to you in the way it holds your life. Sometimes you will catch yourself smiling at nothing in particular. But nothing is actually everything: safety, clarity, presence. The smile is your new signature. You step out in the morning and the world feels more workable. You step back in at night and the home receives you like a friend. The circle is complete and kind. On the days you forget, the home reminds. On the days you remember, the home rejoices. Either way, you are learning and the learning is gentle. You carry the keys with gratitude that whispers, not shouts. You carry your name with honor that does not need a stage. You carry your life like it belongs to you because it does, and when you turn the lock for sleep, you say one sentence to the quiet. Thank you for being a place where I can be. The quiet answers by staying.